Okay. So, all right, talking about taxes today, we're talking about the difference between sole proprietorship and being an LLC. An LLC is limited liability, right? I would I would start your business as a sole proprietorship and then as you make money, grow into an LLC. Right? You don't have to put all that upfront cost up. And really, it's not very hard to be an LLC. But I wanted to, because most of us here are sole proprietorship, I want to watch a video for taxes for sole proprietorship. Is that all right?
Sherman, the CPA here. Today I'm going to help you save on taxes by helping you.
All right. As always, can you give me a thumbs up and make sure you...
Hey everyone, Sherman the CPA here. Today I'm going to help you save on taxes by helping you understand how taxes work for sole proprietorships. If you are an independent contractor, freelancer, business owner, or earn any money outside of being an employee, then this video was made for you. We are going to discuss what a sole proprietor is, how they file taxes, the type of taxes they pay, and some tips to help you minimize the amount of taxes you will pay as a sole proprietor. So if you are ready, please do me a favor by liking this video and make sure you are subscribed to our channel for even more ways to save on taxes. All right, so what is a sole proprietorship? A sole proprietorship is an unincorporated business owned by one person, which means if you are not incorporated as an LLC or corporation or doing business as a partnership, then you are a sole proprietor by default. Or to put it another way, if you earn any money other than investment income or W-2 wages, then you are a sole proprietor. This applies to freelancers, independent contractors, influencers, Uber and Lyft drivers, or anyone who earns money independently from an employer. One key difference between sole proprietors and W-2 employees is in how tax withholdings are conducted. When you are an employee, taxes are withheld from your paycheck before you even get paid. But when you are a sole proprietor, taxes are not withheld and are paid when you file your tax return. Because of this key difference, when you file your taxes as a sole proprietor, you will typically owe money, which surprises many business owners when they file their taxes for the first time. But obviously, this will not be you because you're watching this video. So again, if you earn money that is not related to an incorporated business or a job in which your payments are subject to withholding taxes, then you are a sole proprietor. Now let's go ahead and talk about how to file your taxes as a sole proprietor. As a sole proprietor, the IRS views you as your business. There is no separation for tax purposes. You are what is referred to as a disregarded entity, which means the money you earn in your business is treated as your personal income when you file your taxes. And because of this key distinction, this means that you do not have to abide by the business tax return deadlines, which is typically March 15th. Instead, you will get an extra month to file your taxes by the personal deadline of April 15th.
Why should you choose AirSculpt to eliminate stubborn body fat?
It is minimally invasive
Without general.
And when you file your taxes, you will report your business income on Schedule C, which is a schedule that you will need to include when you file your personal tax return. Now let's talk about how your business income is actually reported on your tax return. All right, so when you are an employee, you will typically receive a W-2 form at the end of the tax year. But when you are a sole proprietor, you should receive a 1099 form at the end of the tax year, which simply shows the money you earned from your business by a particular customer or a client. Now, I say that you should receive a 1099 form because sometimes you will not receive one, since many businesses fail to issue this form to their vendors. But either way, you are required to report the income you earned from your business to the IRS when you file your tax return. Therefore, it is very important that you keep up with your business books throughout the year so that you can easily keep track of your business income. Now, there are two main things you need to report on your Schedule C. And it is very important that you don't miss either one of these things. Number one, you must report the business income you receive. This includes all money you receive from delivering goods or services. And number two, expenses. You should report all ordinary and necessary expenses you incurred to operate your business. One of the biggest tax mistakes we see sole proprietors make is that they fail to insert their expenses on their tax return, which effectively lowers their taxable income and therefore the amount of taxes that they actually have to pay. You do not have to pay taxes on the revenue your business earns or on the amount you received as a 1099. Instead, you pay taxes on that amount minus all expenses you can deduct. You should pay taxes on your profits, not your revenue or cash receipts from your customers or clients. For example, let's say you are a freelancer that earned $10,000 from 10 different clients, and all of those clients issued you a 1099 form, in which case you are required to report that to the IRS when you file your return. So you made $100,000 here, and you would insert this amount on your Schedule C as income. But as you insert this income on your tax return, you start to notice the amount of taxes you owe are skyrocketing. But wait, you're not finished yet. You need to add all of your expenses, like advertising, office expenses, travel expenses, and more as deductions on your Schedule C. Let's say, in this case, all of your expenses total up to be $75,000. Well, in this case, you would only pay taxes on $25,000 in profits and not $100,000 in income. If this was your only income source, your tax bracket would drop from 24% to 12%. And you would only pay a fraction of the taxes you would have owed if you did not include your expenses on your tax return. So that is how you would go about filing your taxes on Schedule C. Now let's discuss the type of taxes you will pay as a sole proprietor. The three main types of taxes you will pay as a sole proprietor are federal income taxes, state income taxes, and self-employment taxes. Now, federal income taxes are normally the largest tax expense, with tax rates of up to 37% depending on your income level. State taxes, on the other hand, are normally the smallest tax expense you would have out of the three, which typically range from 5 to 10% depending on the state that you live in. And self-employment taxes are the taxes that shocks most sole proprietors. It is an additional 15.3% tax on your business income, which is meant to cover both the employer and employee portions of Medicare and Social Security taxes that are required in an employer-employee relationship. By the way, there are ways you can get around this tax, so make sure that you are subscribed to our channel for more information on that. But first, let's discuss estimated quarterly tax payments. As a sole proprietor, you are required to make estimated tax payments if you expect to owe $1,000 or more in taxes when your return is filed. And there are two ways you can go about handling this. Number one, pay 100% of the tax payments you made last year on a quarterly basis this year. So if you owned $10,000 in taxes last year, you would just submit $2,500 each quarter this year. Or number two, pay 90% of what your tax liability will be this year. Now, in order to do this, you will need to estimate your income, tax deductions, and tax credits for the current year to arrive at the amount of taxes that you will owe. Now, I personally prefer to pay 100% of the tax payments I made last year as a simple rule of thumb. The only time I would deviate from this is if I expect to pay significantly less in taxes this year. In that case, it might make more sense to only make estimated tax payments on what I think I'd actually owe. Anyway, let me know what you think about this video in the comments.
Okay, so let's talk about what some of your write-offs are. Who writes off ammunition? Okay, who writes off gun purchases? Who writes off mileage to the range and back? And Charlie's just gonna leave his hand up. Who writes off uniforms, tactical pants, 511 shoes, knives? What else? Internet. I also claim
office space in your house, electricity bills.
Yeah, so I write off, I think it's 30% of my mortgage, my interest rate, electricity. I even do internet, water, trash, all of that. 30% of that comes off the top. What's mileage rate? Does anybody know right now? 40.
65 cents a mile.
What's that?
I think it's 65 cents a mile.
65 cents a mile. So if you're not tracking yourself to the bank, to Cabela's, to the range, to go buy snacks for your class, all of that adds up. Last year, I I think I wrote off $15,000 in mileage.
Hey,
That's a lot.
why 30%? Why not 35 or 40?
I think that's what the limit is. Charlie, is that right? I think that's what the IRS limit is 30%.
I don't know what the limit is. I finally wised up and figured out the size of my house and how much I have for office space last year. So I just started doing all of that. I've been keeping track of miles and expenses and guns and ammo and gear and equipment and targets and anything that's gun related.
I believe the maximum is 1,500 for the home office deduction.
1,500 square feet?
$1,500. So 30%, and then I think it's up to 300 square feet. My math might be wrong, but
Mine
the
is more than
maximum you could
300
do is
square feet
1,500.
because I'll have to pull back and look. But so anybody use an accountant or you do taxes yourself?
I use
H&R
an,
Block.
I use an accountant because I assume she knows more how to get around things than H&R Block would or TurboTax or anything else like that.
Yeah, totally 100%. So once I have a couple rental units, so once I bought those rental units, I no longer could understand taxes. Like it was way past, my pay grade. And they told me about things I never knew, I never even considered. Like if you have another house, like there's depreciation, like that makes a big difference on my taxes, this depreciation value of rental units. So I went from paying 20,000 a year in taxes, down to 5. Does anybody do quarterly taxes? I do. I do because I don't like writing a $20,000 check at the end of the year. It scares me. Right. So let's talk about tracking your mileage. How do you do it manually? How do you track your mileage? Does anybody know?
I use a book and I record the starting mileage, the ending mileage, total it out, and put what it's for.
That's good detail. I'm not that good. Charlie, what do you do?
I spend I don't know $8 or $10 on a book at Staples, and I write down every day what my starting miles are, my ending miles are, and where I drive every day.
That's pretty good. I use QuickBooks. I don't do anything. I'm lazy. So QuickBooks, everybody knows what QuickBooks is, right? I do all my business financing through it, and they have a feature if you have the app on your phone that it'll track mileage for you. And once you set the rules, like my house to the range, it automatically knows and it doesn't make me sort through it. So I think it's $45 a month. But again, it does all my financials, I can take pictures of my receipts. I don't keep receipts anymore. Who's a shoebox of receipts you have to go through? You're gonna have 3 beers before you open it up, right? I know, I totally get it. Receipts used to be all over the living room floor. So I'm not, I don't represent QuickBooks, but they've been really good to me. Snap a receipt, it goes into the Magic Cloud. My bookkeeper, who I pay like $200 a month for, takes care of everything. She sends me my documents at the end of the month or the beginning of the next month for all my sales and expenses. And I don't have to do anything for my taxes. I take that, all my 1099s, and ship them off. Who's got lots of 1099s? I got a lot.
A lot.
A lot. Sometimes it scares me. I'm like, ooh. I'm also an expert witness. So I'll have, like $8,000 or $9,000 that I'll have to pay taxes on that. Me and my kids sell stuff on eBay for fun. That's another $6,000 or $7,000. I got a 1099 from Instructor Stash. If you're part of Instructor Stash, you should have got one from Stripe. If you're part of USCCA, you should have got another one from Stripe. You could have 3 or 4 1099s from Stripe. Just depends on what you're doing or how many platforms you're on or anywhere that you run credit cards. So don't get caught off guard. If you are, even if you make like $300 or $400 quarterly payments into the taxes, it is way better than writing a big check at the, in the next year. And if you overpay, then you're going to get it back. What do you think? Who's got caught in the tax trap? Hopefully, is anything going to change? Did President Trump say he was going to do anything with taxes yet? Anybody know?
I think he's going to do quite a bit of work to it. He's got Doge going into the IRS right now.
Okay, I really think it's like everybody's phone should be busy. Like, it's freaking people out, right? If you're not busy, then we need to have a conversation. We'll work on your marketing a little bit. But when I had to write a $20,000 tax check, it started making me pay quarterly taxes was really good. What questions do we have about taxes? You can do the very simple shoebox method. You can spend, $250 a year and use TurboTax or other software that can help you out. And it's going to do everything for you. It's so very easy. And QuickBooks and TurboTax, I think, connect. So if you're using TurboTax to do your taxes, everything flows into it literally in 5 seconds. You don't have to sit there and plug everything in for 7 hours and be frustrated and yell at your wife unnecessarily, right? All right, what else do we got?
Also, this is Eric Payson. Also, if you have your vehicle under your business name, you can write that off as well as far as the depreciation of that.
So is there a weight limit on your vehicle?
On mine, yes.
Yeah. So does it have to be like 6,000 pounds or something? Does anybody know? I think there's what's considered a vehicle. Like my truck isn't considered a work vehicle. I tried.
For the section 179, it's 6,000 pounds.
6,000 pounds. And then I get to write that all off, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, due to accelerated depreciation.
Right. So I'm just gonna go buy a Mercedes. What's that big box Mercedes?
Oh, the G-Wagon.
G-Wagon. I'm just gonna go buy a G-Wagon so I can write it off. What is this, like 150 grand? $150,000 for a car? Yeah, no thanks.
Does it have to be like a new vehicle, or as long as it fits the 6,000 pound weight limit, and you're
Oh
using
no,
it
it
in the
can be
business?
used.
I'm sorry,
Yeah,
sir.
it can definitely be used. One of my vehicles, I bought a new Ram and I wrote that off. And then I also needed, through my business, I needed a just a van, like I bought a Chevrolet van that's over that weight limit as well. And I've written that off as well.
Well, what do you do besides teaching guns?
So, about 5 years ago, almost 6 years ago, I started a ammunition company, Patriot Supplies, and about 2 years ago, I started doing
Why
firearm
is
instruction.
Amazon paying me
Sorry, say that last sentence again.
63?
So
Pardon me?
say that last sentence again. 2 years ago, you
2 years
started what?
ago, I became an instructor, firearms instructor, concealed carry instructor. Yes.
So were you producing ammunition?
No,
Manufacturing
no,
it?
no. That takes a different FFL in order to manufacture. No, I have about 47 different suppliers that I pull from and um, do sales like that.
Right now.
So I just bought 9 mil for $9, 9.25 last
That's
week.
pretty good. Man.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Unless it's steel casing. Steel
I'm
casing
pretty
you can
sure
get.
it was cheap steel, wasn't brass. cheap
Yeah.
steel casing ammo. It was very sparky,
Probably
but it went bang.
till, 8,
That's all. That's all
8:30.
that counts, really.
That's all that counts, right? So I buy my ammo from Target Sports USA, if you're familiar with them, Target Sports USA.
She's talking about
They
taxes.
have an ammo club that you can, it's like $100 a year, and you pretty much like get $1 off a box of ammo. So if you buy lots of ammo, it really adds up quick. And then they'll send you an email every day. If you click on the email to their sale, it's usually cheaper than going to their website.
Yeah.
I was really surprised. I was like, oh, that's really sneaky.
Hmm.
And then I went back and the price was higher. So they had
Mhm.
fluctuating pricing. I was like,
Oh, yeah.
it's like an
It's
airline.
wholesale, so it's it it does you get if you do a lot of shooting or if your clients do a lot of shooting. Let me ask you guys this: how many actually? So in my area, I'm in North Carolina, and one of the going things now is um, the instructors. They'll you can sign up for the class and you pay one amount for the class, and then if you don't have a firearm, they'll rent you a firearm plus ammunition plus eye protection plus hearing protection, and before it's over with, you've got a pretty hefty bill. Now that is in this area. So what I've done and it has really, really worked for me is I just do one set fee. I don't charge any extra for hearing protection. I don't charge anything extra for eye protection because that's a write-off for me. But I do provide the firearms and ammunition, and I notice that I get a lot more people because new people that are trying to get their concealed carry, they don't own a firearm, or they're borrowing one, and the instructor knows nothing about their firearm, and it could cause issues.
So I don't charge for guns. I don't charge for eyes and ears. That's part of your business. Like, you're not going,
Yeah,
what if they don't want to pay? Like, sorry, you're not going to wear hearing protection today? Like, sorry, you don't want to pay $5? Like, no, that should be
yeah,
part of it. I do not supply ammunition. They can buy it from the range. I don't sell it in class. I don't do a resell or anything. You can. I just don't. And then because we have an indoor public range, they do pay a range fee. I don't cover their range fee. But
yeah,
the guns and eyes and ears, you should be supplying that. And they should just be like just something simple, standard clocks or nothing complicated, super simple.
yeah. And I don't have to do a range fee. I own my own range, so I don't have
Eric,
to worry about.
we need to be friends. You got lots of ammo and a range.
I'm looking for some help here in North Carolina.
Where in
What part of North Carolina?
Right outside of Raleigh, Smithfield.
Okay, I'm close to you. I'm in Wilson.
there you go.
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. I have been looking for someone to kind of help me out because I want to do more. I stay busy enough, but I have been looking for another instructor, to help me out.
Well, there you go, right there. Exchange some numbers and
So yeah, let's link up. You're in Wilson, you say,
Yes. Yeah.
and your name is
John Hayes.
okay, okay. Well, maybe before this call is over, we can exchange information.
well,
Okay.
just throw it in the chat.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that now.
Yeah, put it in the chat and then you guys can call later. I do get 10% commission or finder's fee for every relationship that is
Connection fees.
bonded. Yeah. I do think we have one marriage too in our group that people got married in our found each other. I mean, that's a match in heaven, right? You know, a cute lady shooting guns and a, retired Marine or whatever. It's good. Okay, what else do we got? What questions besides taxes do we have? Things about, I see a lot of new people today. So we can go back to the beginning a little bit. Web design, logo, Facebook marketing. I'm hoping to have somebody on next week, a guest that is actually going to do a walkthrough of an ad on Facebook. He was supposed to come tonight, but he got caught in a meeting. So, next week I hope to have him or a video we can play through and repost for you guys so you can follow steps through Facebook. Facebook is, I don't know how much you trust Zuckerberg, but they're doing a whole new, I don't know, two-way, I don't say two-way, but free speech. So I will tell you, I've been on my business, been on Facebook for 10 years. I've never been in Facebook jail. I've spent $50,000 in ads and I've done pretty good. So, but they change like the wind. So if you don't keep up on their algorithm and their processes and privacy laws, you can get caught up in some stuff. So next Monday, same time, same Zoom link, we're going to have a marketing expert. He runs his own agency. He was going to give us some time, but his agency is for firearm instructors. They don't do a whole lot more. So like he was a good, let's see if I can find the name of his business real quick. Fusion Marketing out of Florida. And again, all they do is two-way stuff. So if you don't want to do a lot of the Facebook marketing yourselves, you guys can reach out to him. I know nothing about his pricing or anything like that, but if you have some money you want to invest in your business, Fusion Marketing out of Florida, name is Brian Leahy. We had a really great conversation today. He's super smart. Doing Facebook ads for like 10 years, so that's a long time. So reach out to him if you need anything. I'm hoping to have him on next week. Okay, so what we're doing, who has questions about Facebook? Does everybody have a Facebook group or business page? You really should
Yes.
have a business page. It's
Yes.
free. And post content couple times a week. And then you don't have to write a lot of stuff. Repost like state law, legislation, gun sales, things like that, just to keep your stream going and keep people find you. And I would post all your events on Facebook. Again, all that's free. You post the event and it links directly to your website. So you really need to have a checkout system on your website. If you don't have a checkout system, you're not going to make sales. And people were like, oh, I'll meet you at the range on Tuesday. And then they don't show up because they have no money in the game. There's no skin in the game. Don't fall for that. Get yourself a checkout system. I'll tell you what I use, Instructor's Dash. So if you want to try that, you can. What else? Google, make sure you have, for all the new people, make sure you have a Google business page. Again, free. Put your time in there, your times you're opened, location, photos is really, the more information you're putting in that, the higher ranking you're gonna go.
I have a question about a Google Biz page.
Yeah.
I've had a friend of mine say that I should set one up. Every time I've tried to set one up, it's asked for a photo of where I teach classes. I teach classes at a friend's business. He has a conference room and he lets me rent that. And I don't know if that's acceptable because my name is not outside of the business anywhere.
Okay, so what they're asking you to do is to verify your business. So let me go here real quick. Let's go to, I'll answer that question in 10 seconds. Okay, so what they're asking you to do is get this little check mark here. If you can, I don't know if you can see that on your screen. That means you're verified, like you're not fraud, you're a real business. I don't have a storefront. I work in my living room, see? my living room, right? So what I had to do, I had to set up a call with them, and they had to verify my business through a video chat, essentially. So the poor lady, she was like from India. She was super sweet. She's like, I'm calling to verify your business. It's like, okay. So she asked for like a business card, flyers, my website, and then she asked me if I had a car, which was kind of weird. I said, yeah. She's like, do you use your car for work? I said, yes. She's like, I need to see the odometer. So I brought her out to my car for the odometer, which is, I thought it was odd. She asked me to turn my car on. Okay. And then she asked me if I have any equipment for work. I said, yes, lots of equipment. She's like, I need to see it. I'm like, are you sure? So I just opened my gun bag, right? I have 10 firearms with me every day I go somewhere. She's like, oh my God, are those guns? It's like, yeah, lady, read the title of my business, right? So that's what they're asking you to do is to verify your business. You may have to go and find another way, a dispute or another way to verify because there are so many people that work out of their home or whatever. So when you go to set that up, that's what they're looking for. I hope that helps, Charlie.
All right, I will pursue it more for sure. Thank you.
Yeah, it makes a big difference. Because I'm usually typically in the top 3 when people Google gun class near me, right? Gun training near me, CCW near me. So I'm pretty much in the top 3. And the only reason I'm not top 1 is because my Google reviews, my competitor has like 500 Google reviews, and I don't press them like I should. And I only have 66. But your Google page, again, is free. This is what your side looks like. When you go to log in, the back end, this is not what your customers see. This is what you see. They see this. So they want videos, they want Q&A. The more information you can pile into your Google business page, the better it's going to be. See, I'm almost 100%. And the only reason I'm not 100% is because I have not put some Google IPA tag in my website. I did not do that because I didn't really understand it. And Google already knows. Yeah, here it is, Google tag. I didn't really know what a Google tag quite was. Like I know it monitors their click-through rate. And then I run a Google ad right here. Here's my Google ad. Super simple. I do spend $15 to $20 a day on my Google ad. And I probably get 5 times return on it. Super simple. And it rotates, and it's a little bit AI now, so it rotates and changes some of the text based on who's scrolling. So I really like that. That's kind of a new feature. So go do this. It doesn't take very long, but I will tell you that the verification mine took like 2 months to do. So hopefully that was like 2 years ago. So hopefully they have a better verification for people who are sole proprietors or work out of their house. Go do these things. It makes a big difference. Yes, Mr. Terry. You have a question, sir?
No, I didn't think so.
Oh, I thought
I
you
mean,
wanted
a
to
lot of
raise
this,
your hand.
I'm an LLC, so a lot of this doesn't apply to me.
Well, do you have a Facebook page?
I do,
Good.
and I think I have a business page, but I have to go double check.
Yeah, super important. A lot of business will come from that. Anybody else? We're at 8:14. I got 15 minutes for you.
So these meetings are every Monday at 7:30?
They are every Monday. If you go down to the chat box and
Uh-huh.
scroll up,
Yeah.
okay, the first link in the chat box there, if you want to catch up on our videos, is right there. And then underneath that one, the Business Bullseye Blueprint is our online training. It's free. You just sign up for it. And let's see. And the last thing is,
Will that go away once this meeting is over?
yeah, so cut and just click on them, save them in a tab.
You can save the chat, and I think it actually will keep it.
I know I can. I don't know about user
Yeah, it gives the option to save
okay.
save the chat. So if you click on it and then it says save in a folder, it will actually save it to your computer. Mine is actually just put it in my OneDrive folder for some reason, or my Teams or whatever like that. So
Right. I'm glad
What,
that
when you click on
so whenever you click the when you go to the chat up at the where the three dots are where it says more, so up where the title is where it says free weekly training and BBB instructor dash whatever is got it cut off truncated instructor dash training, the three dots just to the right of that,
Huh?
if you click on that, you should get an option that says save chat or merge to meeting window.
oh, I can do that for you here. Do that. It might be weird. Let's see. Might do a mirroring. So he's talking about right here.
Oh, let me get back to it. Okay, where
Yeah, it's just showing just the screen itself. It's not showing the actual.
mine doesn't show the three dots on that.
You gotta run your pointer over it. If not, just click on it and put it in a new tab. All right, the last thing I always plug is Instructor Stash.
Hey,
You need a processing system and automation. We're here for you.
So I got a question.
Yeah.
So I created a Facebook page for my business, and then I got a crazy message the other day saying that it was going to be shut down because of
It's fake.
trademark.
Yeah,
It's fake.
Okay, that's what I thought. I was like, what?
I get them like 3 times a week.
Yeah, I didn't have a person, and then hit the link, and I'm like, oh, okay. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna not
don't
respond to it.
Yeah.
I got a few of I got a few of those this week too. They're like, your page is going to be shut down because of some nonsense.
Yeah, I got a trademark. I was like, what is a trademark? I was like, I don't even have that many pitch. I just created it like this last month. So I'm still trying to build it. So I was like, there's nothing. I was like, USCCA stuff's out there where you the link to go to my USCCA page to click on my classes. That's about it.
Mm-hmm. Good.
All right. So
I like to mess with them sometimes, so I'll message them back and say, please send me the image that I copyright infringed. And then, of course, you never hear from them.
Yeah, I did the same. Haven't heard back.
Yeah.
Crickets.
But I will tell you that Facebook will shut down a live stream for copyright infringement. Like we were live streaming my mom's funeral 2 weeks ago, and they shut it down halfway through because we played a song. I was like, damn, I'm brutal. So, whatever. Like people were singing.
I was doing a live stream on StreamYard, and it was going out to YouTube and all this stuff. And we had somebody that wanted to pick up a gun and show us a gun. So we're like, you can't handle the gun, so we're going to take you out of the studio, set the gun up behind you, and then we'll bring you back in.
Funny.
Yeah.
It's true, man. I do think as the Trump presidency moves on, I think a lot of this stuff is going to go away. It's ridiculous. Which makes me happy. Okay, so guys, 819, what else do you have? Any questions? Getting more students in your class, taxes.
I'd like to bring something up from Mike that he brought up last week. I wasn't able to watch the show, but I did go back and check it out. And he was talking about doing like one of these multi-classes. And I don't remember if it was answered or not, but I teach the NRA's home firearm safety class, and that's really the bread and butter of what I do. I also teach the Utah class, and Utah allows you to add add the Utah laws to any other class, and then you can hand people the Utah paperwork. So I don't know if that's what some of the other instructors are doing. I actually saw something tonight where somebody was doing, oh God, they were doing Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Florida, Utah, Arizona, and Virginia in a class on the weekend. And
Wow.
it seems a little nuts and crazy, but you I don't know about the other states, but I know if you do an NRA class, you can add Utah law section, and they'll accept that.
Yeah, I've heard about that, and I've thought about doing it. In fact, I'm still thinking about doing it because if you teach the Utah class, the number of states that have reciprocity skyrockets.
Yeah, I've compared the Utah permit to the Florida permit because it's really very much the same. A lot of the states are the same. The only thing I've noticed is Utah gives you Washington State, but not New Mexico. Florida gives you New Mexico, but not Washington State. The Utah permit is, I think it's like $62 for 5 years, and it's $25 to renew it. The Florida permit is $97. It's good for 7 years, and then I think it's $87 to renew it. And I can't tell you how many times I've done a Utah class for one of the ranges that I whatever with the guys that I know, and it can be anywhere between 5 or 6 people to 23 people taking the class. So the Utah, I'm sorry, so the Utah class has been a great moneymaker for sure.
So I met this guy last week at a gun show, Eagles Gun Show, and he told me that he does the Utah class, and he had to fly out to Utah.
Yeah, so when you become be a Utah instructor, you have to go there in person. It's literally like a 5-hour class. And the flight's super expensive because nobody goes to this little place.
The first time I did it, I flew from New England to Utah on a Friday. I did the class on Saturday. I had nothing else to do with the rest of the day. No place else was open, and I flew out on Sunday. 3 years later, I had to renew. I flew out on a Friday, and I flew back on a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, I did a 24-hour turnaround.
Yeah, I don't even think mine was that much.
Yeah.
You can renew online now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can renew it online, but the first time you have to go do it in person.
So also,
right. And let me go over some of what you were touching on with all the non-resident stuff, since you were asking about my situation. Utah has the most states at about 33. Florida only has about 18 currently. The rest have gone constitutional carry. And the reason people get Utah and Florida is if you read the law, Utah and Florida have reciprocity with each other unless you're not a resident of either state, which cancels out the reciprocity. So if you want to get the most states that you can travel around, if you're someone who likes to drive around and travel, that's why you get both. As far as offering all the other ones that I put, not everybody takes everything, so it's just options. And I have other instructors that help, and we'll break off into a group. So if 4 people want to do Virginia, they can go in the corner and watch the videos and do what they have to do in Virginia. If the bulk of the class wants Massachusetts, I'll let everybody sit in the Massachusetts first, and then we'll go from there to whatever it's going to go. I've seen guys that I don't understand. There's people in Connecticut where I am. They're offering not only all the things that I offer in one day, but they're also chiming in with New York and New Jersey, which is impossible because it's a 16-hour class and 2 hours at the range, and they're charging people $500, $600, $700. And to me, you're giving a class with an expiration date and a bunch of lies. In Connecticut, depending on where you live, you can get a permit from 2 weeks to 6 months, 9 months sometimes for a town that'll take to process it. And most of your certificates for like Utah and stuff are only good for a year. So now once you get your permit in your hand that you can actually apply, now you've got, a few months left to try to get everything in and hope you get it done before the certificate expires on somebody's desk. To me, it's just fraud. It's just wrong. But that's my opinion.
I started the process a year ago to get a New Jersey permit, and I spent $150 to get the FID card. I started it in February, and I reached out to them in September, and they sent it to me. They finally sent it to me, like after I emailed them, and they're like, "Well, we're processing applications for March," and I'm like, "I applied in February, so let's get on that." And then I drove down to Jersey. I spent $275 to do the qualification, and then a week or two after that, I spent $200 on the permit to carry. So
Yeah,
it's
they just slimlined that whole process from what I understand recently.
yeah,
They changed everything.
that would be great. It cost me over $600 just to get a Jersey.
Some of it you can actually do part of it online now, supposedly. And as far as New York goes, it's going to be 16 hours and that's it. I just got all the stuff given to me to try to break it all. I'm breaking it all down into a PowerPoint presentation over the course of 2 days, and it's quite a undertaking. And even the certificates, you have to assign the person what they're calling a permit number, even though you're not allowed to give them a permit number. Ultimately, NYPD gives the permit number, but you have to physically give them a recorded number that you keep track of on the certificate. And I had to go out and buy, I don't know if you've ever seen some kind, your kids at school get a little certificate for like a good job they did, and get a little gold sticker on the corner. You have to actually go out and get gold stickers for the corner of the certificate, and you have to get an embosser that has the name of your company and the date your company started, the year it started as the center of the seal, and seal and squeeze it onto the gold foil. So when the gold foil sticker goes on, it has the name of your company and the year you started. That have special certificates made. It's a whole
That's New
big
York.
process.
That's for New York.
Yes, sir.
Charlie, do you go to Jersey that much? It's worth investing $600 in?
I have a buddy that's an instructor down there, and I I may have gone through Jersey with a shotgun a couple times so we could do some sporting clays in Pennsylvania and Virginia. And I've transported my handgun through New Jersey, unloaded, locked in a secure container, but I've never brought it. I've never carried it. And I go down and see my buddy, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 times a year. A lot of it was just to go through the experience of going through the nonsense and coming up with an article to write and tell people tell them about all the nonsense.
Yeah. One thing before we go on Utah, isn't Delaware? Oh, it's for Virginia. So if you have a Virginia permit, we have like, I don't know, I think we're up to like 31 states reciprocity. Delaware is not one of them. Utah covers Delaware.
I think it does, yeah.
Yeah.
So does Florida.
But we like Virginia better. Sorry. All right, guys.
Virginia covers a bunch as well.
Yeah, we have, I think it's 30, 31. Basically, everybody south of us, we pretty much have some kind of reciprocity with.
Honestly, the only issue going south from New England is South Carolina.
What's your issue with South Carolina?
Well, they don't want to honor anything from what I'm told, and they will not give out a non-resident permit unless you own a piece of property and have an address.
Oh, okay. Somebody in the text is asking about insurance. I used for instructors insurance. Somebody tell me what I use.
I use Locked In.
Locked In. That's what I use. Locked In. And USCCA just did come out with their insurance. I do not know anything about it. I'm sorry, I can't answer that. I'm sure it's more expensive than all the other ones.
I got, and it's like 390 something.
Yeah, mine's less. I think mine's 3.25 for 1 million.
Yeah,
2 million.
2 million? Okay.
It's a couple million, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the USCCA one's more expensive. And they're also coming out with a law enforcement one. So if you happen to be a law enforcement officer and you want personal coverage against being sued, even though the city or town's supposed to protect you, they have a new insurance that's supposed to come out very soon as well.
Okay. Very interesting. All right, last call. Anybody else?
Yeah, with the USCCA, I know with the locked-in, you have to put like each like person, or you have to pay extras, a bunch of extra fees.
No, yes. So they will only cover other people if they are actual employees, not 1099. So all my instructors have their own insurance.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about like if you want to use a different like for each range,
Yes. So
you get
the,
like two or something like that. Anything you have to
the
pay.
riders, so that's a rider, a separate rider for every range that you're at. Last year it was only $25. I don't
Yeah,
know if they've raised it, but I put 3 other riders on there.
yeah, USCA, you don't have to pay for any of that. There's no hidden fees, any extra fees.
Oh,
What it is, and it covers whatever range you go to throughout the United States. So that's why I went with that one, because I was looking at the two and I was like, hey, a little bit extra, and I don't have to pay any extra fees for anything. If I need to get a copy of my certificate, they're not going to charge me for that. So there's no other fees. And that's the one thing I looked at. So I was like, hey, I paid a little extra money and it covers me. And I got the same coverage as the locked-in, because that's the one thing I checked back and forth between them.
very good. Thank
I've
you.
never had any problem with locked-in. I just the other day went to a range in Stratford, Connecticut, and I called them while I was standing there and asked them for a copy of the rider because they wanted to be added on to use the range. They emailed it in like 5 minutes and cost me a thing.
So, oh, they didn't charge you. Interesting.
Nice.
Okay. Anything else? Anybody else?
Hey, I got one thing, Lisa.
Yes. Oh, I forgot you were there.
Yeah, sorry. I had my first chargeback this week. It was for a personal class with 6 participants. 5 of them showed up. 3 of them were competition shooters, and only 2 of those guys showed up. The other one didn't respond, and then I woke up to that chargeback this morning. I wanted to put it to everybody. Is it worth fighting for that one feedback?
How much is it?
And possibly $100.
So, I mean, what platform was it through? Was it through your bank, PayPal, what?
Yeah, it was through GoDaddy. They handle all of our
Right.
payments and everything else. And
I would walk through the process just so you know what it is. So when I have chargebacks, which is like 1 a year, maybe 2 a year, I never win. Never.
even though you have no refunds on your website?
Right. They don't care. But I don't know
Okay.
what GoDaddy's policy is. Like, so anytime I like have a chargeback, I'm like, says where, like I fill out all the stuff. This is where I said no refunds. This is the rescheduling cutoff time, right?
Yeah.
They don't care.
Okay. Yeah,
But I
what
would
I
go
have
through
is
the
very
process.
similar to you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can tell you what I did to fix that. I
What's
have
that?
on my intake form that says that there's no refunds. And it
Yeah.
says, and a little blurb about you signing that you realize if you sign this form that, you're sitting in the class, you're getting, basically what you paid for, blah, blah, blah. So when they get a charge back, you just make copies of those people's intake forms and send it to the company and they deny them the chargeback.
Yeah, I never win though. For
Yeah.
PayPal, I never win. I haven't done any in Stripe.
PayPal's horrible anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, but I use mostly Stripe now through Instructor Stash. That's Stripe.
Uh-huh.
So I haven't had any through Stripe. What's
I've
that?
used Venmo. I have no problems. Even Cash App.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Venmo and Cash App. You do what's right for your business, but I don't love the feel it sends. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It just
You do know that PayPal owns Venmo, right?
I do, but I can send them an invoice, right? It's just
Have you considered Square?
no, I am not starting over. It's way too much work. I'll pay my 3.2% and just move on. Like, but I do everything. I don't talk about money on classes. Like, there's no talk, there's no conversation. Everybody's paid and confirmed before class starts.
Yeah, we do payment in full beforehand, and yeah, on the website it says we can, modify your date, but there's no refunds given. My thing was, I've got 5 stars on Google. We've got
Oh.
80 some odd reviews, and I'm like, do I risk it for this one
This-
person who's
that
not
is
responding?
yeah, that is a very valid thought process.
Yeah, like, is it worth $100, or do I just say, hey, I'll say whatever I want and give the guy's money back because I know it's not worth the hassle.
Then move on with your life.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I got USCCA and you go through their
Stripe.
platform, and I have Stripe with them.
Mhm.
What they do is like they charge you, like a percentage, but like at the end of the quarter, they give you whatever they take back.
So what he's saying is USCCA is having a limited time offer that when you use their platform, Stripe takes a fee out, their credit card fee, and then USCCA will reimburse it. So I've gotten a dozen checks from them for $40 or $50 or whatever it is. So that's really generous of them. I mean, they're trying very hard to grow very, very fast. But I think it's too fast for me, but
how long is that going to last for?
they just said limited time, and they've been doing it for a year, maybe 9 months, a year.
Yeah, they keep asking me to sign up. I just haven't.
Are you a
And that's what
USCCA
you
instructor?
I am.
Then listen, here's my secret. I have my classes everywhere. USCCA, and they're all the same. USCCA, NRA, livefireInstruction.com, and Instructor Stash. And I make sales on all 4 platforms. It's a little bit more admin to like group everybody together. I did $30,000 through Instructor Stash last year.
Yeah, like I just started doing it this year, so I got everything set up in January, and I just did my first class using through them, and I think it was like 2 weeks ago I did it, and it streamlined the process so easy because they went on there, they applied for the class, they had to pay, like, because the way I was doing it before, I was using either PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, or Cash. So when and I'll send them a Google form and they fill it out, but then they'll pay me when they see me, you know? So I was just like, okay, it was only like a few people I did that to because it was like a group of guys that I knew that, asked for. But with this one, it was so much easier. They just went on there and it was like, I got an alert. Hey, this person paid, this person signed up for the class. I was like, oh, this made it so much easier,
And this is through Stripe.
It's through USCCA, which uses Stripe. It's through their platform, their instructor platform.
That was very
US. So I guess I would have to be USCCA in order to have that benefit.
Yeah. If you're new and you want a transaction process system, just use Instructor Stash. It does everything for you. It's all done. Like it's more enhanced than USCCA. So it does all the automation. Like sends a text message, sends an email 5 days before, the day before, the day of, like you do nothing.
Right.
Once your class is up there, that's it.
Okay.
I looked at it. It seemed a little expensive if you have times where you're not doing that many students, you're still putting out about $100 a month.
It's 47 for the first year. And Mike, if you want to try it out for a couple of months, if you finish your registration, I'll give you like 3 months free.
Okay.
You just send me an email that you're done, and I'll go in and adjust it on the back end.
Okay.
90 days for free if you want to try us out. And that
So
goes
I
for
will.
anybody
Thank
else
you.
too.
How much is it total?
It's $47 a month plus the Stripe fee.
Mm.
So if like I always say like one client covers your cost. But
Yeah.
it's I'm lazy. That's why I like it. Like I don't have to there's no admin. I hate admin. I know I'm a chick. I'm supposed to like it. No, it's bullshit. I hate it all.
So to
Thank
get
you.
in with the instructor's dash, um, is that where do I find that information at?
It's instructorstash.com.
Okay, then. All right, cool. Taking notes.
You'll have to send me a message that you signed up and then you're part of this group, and I'll go in and
Okay.
give you 3 months for free.
All right, awesome.
And that goes for anybody who's listening that's not currently. If you're currently on Instructor's Dash, I don't know how to do that. But if you're new, I'd be happy to do that for you. You can write this down, send me an email at, what's the best one? Hold on, give me 5 seconds. I think it's support at Instructor's Dash with an S. Yeah, support at instructors with an S dash.com. Just shoot me an email to say, hey, I signed up. I'd be happy to do that for you. It's really great. I really love it. And they'll help you with the setup if you're not
Okay.
super techy. Because once it's up and running, that's it. It's up, that's it. You're done.
How about if you already have a Stripe account already?
So that's a great question. So I have like 3 Stripe accounts. The only difference is every platform you're on, you'll have a new Stripe account. Stripe doesn't merge anything together. The only difference is you'll just get another 1099 at the end of the year. Okay, anything else, folks?
And you said
This
it's
was all,
8.2% for Stripe?
Stripe's fee, I think I want to say 3. Hold on. Oh, it's 2.7 plus 30 cents.
not bad. Not bad at all.
But, PayPal's more. I think PayPal's 3 something. And I'm not a super big fan of PayPal, but I've been using them for 10 years. And I'm old now, so now I don't want to change anything.
The only thing I didn't like about PayPal is it's really hard to integrate it into your website with the links and stuff.
It is not good. It's much better because they have buttons, what they call buttons now. Let me see if I can pull up a button for you. Well, that doesn't matter. It's very generic.
Yeah,
But
well, what I
it's
found was
better.
if I scheduled classes and put it on the website, after those classes passed, I had to go in, delete all those, then change the dates and make like 10 new classes, and then repost, the script of it to make it work on the website. And it was just like too much like work.
Okay, so this is what I do. When I use PayPal, like for the NRA, if you use the NRA platform for your courses, like there's no checkout system. So at the bottom, I just put my PayPal link button and they can just click on that. And that goes to a transaction page. So I have one button that works 1,000 times. I just keep the link.
Okay, I'll have to try that.
Yeah. And then here is this is if you don't have a website, this would be your website, like for all your classes for Instructor's Dash. It's very simple, very clean. You can put buttons here if you want. And all it does is make sales for you. And it looks really great on mobile. And over 80% of your transactions are going to come from mobile. Really keep that in mind when you build a website. And this is the Stripe part here. So if you already
help you set it up.
Yeah, they'll help you set it up. If you already have a website, like I do, you put Instructor Stash inside your website. It's called an iframe if you've never heard that term before. So here it is here. So it's actually inside the site. So it just depends on whatever you want or whatever you need. It's super easy.
So I can actually put that right into my website, and I can still track all of my. Oh my goodness, this is like super easy.
Right?
Yeah.
I know.
Wow.
I'm lazy. So any way I can figure out something easier, faster. Like I don't go to the grocery store anymore. I've been in the grocery store in like a year. It just magically arrives at my front door.
Yeah.
I need 800 rolls of toilet paper. It magically shows up.
Oh yeah. This was wonderful. Thank you guys.
Yeah. That's all I got.
Thank you.
We're a little over. My apologies. And I'm hoping next week, Facebook, somebody's going to walk us through Facebook ad setup. Whew, I need food. All right.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Great. Thanks again.
Yep. Send me an email if you guys need anything.
All right.
Fantastic.
I'll be reaching
Thank
out
you very much.
for you guys.
Thank you much.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Good night.
Night.
Good night. Good night.